Hi, my name is Emily Ionelli, and I was born on January 18, 1961, which was 2 days before JFK, John F. Kennedy, was inaugurated as our 35th president. And in actuality, I was born while Dwight Eisenhower was still our president. And I was born during a blizzard, so the day that John F. Kennedy was inaugurated into office, he was actually inaugurated during a blizzard. So I think, according to history, it was notated as the blizzard inauguration of JFK. In all my years growing up, I must say I had never had fear of our president. I've had seen a lot of issues within presidents where they had controversies. And one that comes to mind obviously was Richard Nixon, who left office because of scandals. I think overall, Bill Clinton was a good president, though he was technically impeached based on improper discretions. And I also feel that though I was not really old enough to know John F. Kennedy, I had come to learn that he was probably one of our best presidents from my era, plus the fact that I was born right around his inauguration in 1961 on January 18th, 2 days before his inauguration of January 20th. From what I read of John F. Kennedy, he was a very hardworking and dedicated president and a wonderful family man, though there was some scandals. But overall, I think John F. Kennedy did a great deal from his perspective in helping our country to go in the right direction. I was not even old enough to see his tragic demise when he was assassinated in November of 1963, since I was only 2 years old. But I've come to learn that we suffered greatly, and I don't know what the implications have been due to his death, but I think our country would have been far better off if his life was not taken away. I voted in my first election as an 18-year-old in 1980 for Ronald Reagan. I voted for Jimmy Carter. I voted for Bill Clinton. I voted for Al Gore. I voted for Barack Obama. And most recently, I voted for Hillary Clinton. I can honestly say I've never been afraid of our president, with the exception of this presidency coming. I will certainly miss President Barack Obama, as I view him as a man of great integrity, who is very dignified and very well spoken, and he had great professionalism. I view Donald Trump completely the opposite. I even consider him fascist and unreliable and a chronic liar. And he continuously lies and bashes the media, and he is a detriment to our country. I do not want to see him serve out his term based on his disdainful rhetoric that I thought was reprehensible. I cannot understand how someone like him can be accorded the respect of Americans to lead our great country. I admit our country has lots of issues. I know there are lots of people who are out of work. I happen to be one of them. I struggle with bipolar disorder, so I rely on Social Security disability. And I've been dealing with raising an autistic son who's now 18, and we have to try to transition him from a residential school probably into a group home. I'm male to female transgender, so I'm very concerned about the LGBT community. I also am very concerned about our medical system and how it works, and the irresponsibility that Mr. Trump wants to go forward with in repealing, but not having a plan in place. I am also wondering how he can reduce taxes for the wealthy and corporations and rebuild infrastructure and tax Americans to build a wall bordering US and Mexico. It doesn't make sense. How do you, in one breath, say you're going to reduce taxes, and in another breath, say you're going to impose taxes to build a wall? It's a contradiction. I also am wondering how he's going to bolster the military, how he's going to put so many people into the workforce, and how he's going to find the money to fund all of this. I'm also concerned about his foreign policies. I'm concerned about Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security disability, Social Security retirement. I am disabled. I worked 35 years. I paid into the system. I am unable to work given my mental illness, and I am struggling with severe depression, and I have been in the hospital over 30 times. Most occasions it was a visit to speak to a psychiatrist, but on at least a half a dozen times I was admitted for at least a week to 2 weeks because of suicide attempts. And I will be the first to say that if my Medicare and my Social Security is taken away from me or cut drastically, I will not be able to survive. And I would probably take serious consideration in taking my life, because I have life insurance policy that will pay out regardless of suicide, so I can protect my wife and my son and my in-laws who are living with us from the Philippines. I cannot pay my mortgage or my bills without my needed Social Security disability, and I can't afford to have it cut or taken away from me. That is my major concern personally. My other major concern is for young women who go to Planned Parenthood for their feminine needs, and now the Republicans are going to stop funding Planned Parenthood, which is an organization that helps women, and it's based purely on the fact that a moral fact that they provide services for abortion. I know that that's an issue that is equally divided, and I think that women sometimes have to choose for themselves. Abortion is not an easy choice, and I don't think most women really want to do that, but for financial reasons or for other reasons, fear, rape, they have no choice. But the Republicans want to take that choice away from them. I am also afraid of our presidential-elect, who is a constant liar and will not admit to the fact that Russians have had some influence in uprooting our democracy. I view the president-elect as a fascist, and despite the fact that he's going to surround himself with cabinet members, most of the cabinet are in direct opposition of the president-elect in most of his views. Yet I wonder, since he's so thin-skinned, how he's going to react to those criticisms. And I feel that he will ultimately make decisions, however controversial they are, and possibly put our people in danger. I did not vote for him for many reasons, and I would never stand for any of his policies of hatred, of discrimination. I am very adamant that he not be inaugurated, but it is not likely that that will happen. We will have to live with him as our next president, our 45th president. I was born when JFK was inaugurated, who was our 35th president. So I lived through 10, technically 11 presidencies since I was born 2 days for Dwight D. Eisenhower. I am very frightened of the prospects of a Donald Trump presidency, and I feel it is important that I express my feelings and say what I have to say. And I will write letters to my local representatives, my senators, the congressmen and women, about my fears regarding our 45th president, President-elect Donald Trump, and his vice presidential candidate, who also is LGBT discriminatory. I do not respect these two men, even though they have nice families. Thank you.